That's all we're trying to do. As a matter of fact, Mike had said earlier in the show that I'm an entrepreneur. That's the bottom line. I enjoy doing business. I enjoy coming up with ideas, concepts, and bringing the right individuals, the right teams together and making it happen, and then executing upon that. A lot of my sons and daughters and friends understand what I do. They know I'm an entrepreneur. The biggest joy that I have is that those kids come to me and ask me, how do I get going? They ask me, can I help them get their business going? They've got an idea, they've got a concept. I didn't have that when I was coming up, So that's me saying, dang, you know what? Just by me doing what I do, I really am a role model. And I didn't know that I was until these kids came and talked to me and said, Mr. Can you help me? Can you do this? Can you help me get going in this? This is what I want to do.
And I think that's the greatest thing. You can touch a life without even knowing it. I have this philosophy where, I'll open doors for people. I'll say hello to everybody I see, things like that. If I can make, there was some quote, but if I can make one person smile all day, I've done a good job. And like Keith was saying, he's been a role model. He might not even know it, but by the kids coming up and asking his advice, asking his opinion on things, he is a role model. Whether he, whether he understood it or not, whether he was trying to be it or not, he is. And it's great that he can jump in and take that role and say, yeah, I think that's a great idea. Or, maybe you want to go back to the drawing table, work on that a little bit, and, let's come up with something else and see if we can bring this to the next level. And I think that's what we're all trying to strive for.
That is true. That is very true. And then as we expand upon role models, some of the things that we talked about or we're thinking about are those people that touch our lives on a daily basis, at least touch our kids' life. And with our kids being athletically inclined and also academically inclined, we have teachers and we have coaches. I know for a fact that I would really like for every coach and every teacher that my kid has to be positive on what life can bring them. I remember when I was in college and I had I befriended a teacher, assistant professor that was in an economics class, and I'll never forget this young lady. She was older than I was. We became friends, and she was talking about life. She's an economics teacher, and as I, still being in college, talked about my dreams and aspirations, and she was telling me, let me tell you about real life. It's really not that way. Well, we know with the economic conditions and all the stuff that's going on out in the world this day and time, it could be hard to do some of the things that the dreams and things that we may have or our kids may have. However, I don't want anybody to crush my kids' dreams, because that's where innovation comes from. That's where they become men and women. They've got to have dreams. I have dreams every day. Mike and I have a dream every day if we could ever hit the Powerball. See, I almost cussed.
I got my Mega Millions tickets.
I'm not going to cuss, but, geez, that Powerball, the Mega Millions, I tell you, people, if we ever hit it, we still would do our show, though.
And I'm just sitting here thinking about role models, and I will say kids are kids, and sometimes they don't understand what you're trying to tell them. So, sometimes it takes time. And I'm going to take my wife, for instance. I'm Mr. Mom. I play the role of Mr. Mom. And she's out, working.
Trophy husband.
She's out working every day, busting her butt to give us what we need. And I know our kids right now don't understand that. But someday they will. So, with her, she's not a role model, and Keith's the same way. He's out busting his hump, and the kids don't understand that, but someday they will. Someday they'll understand what you went through to get them to where they're at. And I know it's hard to think that they're going to understand, but they will. You got to have faith in that, and you got to keep on doing the right things. But with Keith out working his butt off, my wife out working as hard as she does, someday they're going to say, wow, this is how it works. And now I have a family. Now I have to step up and I've got to do that same thing that they've done, you know, to keep that train rolling, to keep these, you know, our kids going and their kids going and their kids and their kids. So, because once you start digging in that concrete and you form a foundation, it's there, and all it's going to do is keep on going up.
That's true, and I don't know if you guys really caught what Mike said. I mean, this goes back to, you know, it's not just black or white, because in the two different perspectives that we come from. Mike's a stay-at-home dad, and I joke with him all the time, and my sister jokes about him being a trophy husband. I have created, from an entrepreneurial basis, you know, the opportunity for me to be able to make a decent living and have a home-based business and so on. However, my wife is a stay-at-home mother. Now, I will flat out tell you, I do not have the personality to be a stay-at-home father and take care of the kids like my wife and like this gentleman right here. And I can tell you now, you know, Mike's wife may get mad at me, Sue, you may get mad at me, but I would say Sue and I are very similar in our makeup and our personalities, to where we would prefer to be out there dealing with what we deal with on a daily basis to get it done and provide for our families. Okay? So these are the different perspectives we bring to the conversation that we're talking about. But yet, as you can see, we're talking about role models and what we want for our kids, and it's still the same thing. We want somebody that's going to be positive. We know that the people that are going to touch our kids' lives the most are us as parents, husband, wife, or flat out just guardian. It doesn't matter. We know those are the major people that are going to touch the kids' lives, right? And we also know that our coaches and the teachers. So,
but I think that's, you know, that's exactly what we're talking about. Different perspectives. You know, this is where the whole thing. It's not just black or white. You know, it's green, it's purple, it's blue, it's red. It's
life.
It's, you know, the whole spectrum of colors. And it's life, and that's why we're trying to bring this to you guys, to come up with perspectives to, you know, and we want your guys' opinion on this topic and every other topic that we talk about. We're not here, you know, we hope that, you know, with this, that we're going to touch some lives of some people and, you know, make a difference in this world. And we know it's hard, and we know maybe nobody's going to see it right away, just like we were discussing, but you know, if we can hit one life, we've done a good job.
Change a life. Wow. There we go. Change a life. And you know what? This, as we said before, this all started just in us having our conversations where we're just sitting down, really doing therapy between the
for
two
each
of
other.
us.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Everybody needs somebody like I have in Keith and like he has in me. To, you know, I can tell him anything. He can tell me anything.
Yeah.
If I wanted him to jump off a bridge, he'd do it, and I'd do it for him. So it's, you know, that's what we have, and that's what we're trying to give to you guys. And you know what? If you can find somebody like that,
hey,
you know, you're doing well.
You're doing well, because you know, life isn't always easy, but here's the deal. Life isn't always easy, but sometimes it can be very greasy. So
this is our show.
This is our show.
It's called it's just not black or white. We're gonna come out and we're gonna do the best we can to come out with topics to discuss everything under the sun. We don't care what it is, whatever you guys want to come up with.
We're gonna have guest hosts, or not guest hosts, but we'll have guests on our show with certain topics that we're gonna have. We're gonna cover everything, because you know what? We're just sitting down here in our basement at the bar, and these are the things that we talk about on a normal basis, and we want to just share it with you. And at the same time, if you guys have some topics for us, please feel free, shoot them to us, and we'll put them on the agenda, and we'll get on top of it.
You know, this is just from us to you guys. This is our way of giving something back. You know, we've both had great lives so far. You know, had our ups, had our downs. You know, like everybody else. But you know, we're just trying to make a difference, and hopefully this is the way we're going to do that. So, you know, Keith and I are just sitting here having a drink. We are discussing, you know, everything under the sun, life, you know, and we're just trying to make it through and, you know, do the best we can. So,
just remember, it's not just black or white, and we'll see you next time. Next show, we're going to try to do this every week, every other week. Look for the next show. In the meantime, why don't you send us any topics that you'd like us to cover, and we'll take care of it.
And we'll talk about anything: music, religion, families, lives. You know, we don't care what it is. We love everything. We love sports. We'll get into anything. We're not just going to sit here and talk about one thing and dwell on it. And we're going to talk about world things that are going on in the world, things that are going on here in the
daily
U.S.
things that happen to us.
Just everything. So, if you guys come up with anything you want to talk about, shoot them to us, and we'd love to talk about it. We'd love to hear your feedback, and
that's it.
Let's get this on.
And once again, it's not just black or white. We're out.
See you guys.